family. This is Marlene Saunders show where we have real talk, real conversations, and you're welcome to it. Today, I wanted to tap in with the chat family and talk to you guys about having narcissistic relatives. And we've been on this kick talking about, narcissistic people and the things that we do. And we couldn't leave this segment and this session about narcissistic people without talking about narcissistic relatives. Okay. Hey, Anita, how are you doing? Welcome. And we couldn't leave this not talking about narcissistic relatives. Now, let's talk about them. Dealing with narcissistic relatives, it involves managing an often abusive family system that prioritizes the narcissist's needs through manipulation, gaslighting, and lack of boundaries. Now, do you know individuals like this as your relatives? It could be parents, cousins, siblings, grandparents, whoever in your relatives unit. And notice I said relatives and not family because family are the ones that choose you back. Relatives just will suck you bone dry and leave you out there hanging. Now, in talking about the narcissistic relatives, they're very abusive, very controlling, possessive. There's lots of gaslighting, making you feel like you are inferior. And they have zero boundaries. They don't care about how whatever they do makes you feel. It's all about them. One of the key strategies to deal with narcissistic relatives is you got to set firm, clear boundaries and you have to limit contact with them. That's very important because a person who's a narcissist, they're not going to change. They're not going to do right. They will not be accountable. Another thing is avoiding direct confrontation because the more that you tell them about themselves, the more you tell them what they are doing, is the more they're going to gaslight, the more they're going to manipulate, the more they're going to blame others, all of that. You have to be so careful about narcissistic relatives because you will spend your whole life trying to be nice to them, be kind to them, and they're not going to change. All they will do is bring pain into your life, use you and abuse you, and then that's it. Hi, Maya. Hi, Carm Comfort. How are you doing? And you know that it's all about you. It's not about them. Even though they try to make it seem like it's all about them, you got to give them the silent treatment. You got to avoid them. And you got to set those boundaries. That's so important. You grew up with narcissistic parents. They gave me brain damage. I am trying to deal by myself, and it's difficult. I'm so sorry to hear that, Montgomery. When you have a narcissistic relatives, specifically parents, is one of the hardest things in the world. I hope that you take your time, get to know you, and I hope that you're going to some counseling and you found loving relationships. And it does not have to necessarily be relatives. Find your tribe and work on your well-being. And don't focus on the past. I know that that's a very difficult thing, but you cannot focus on what happened in the past. All you can do is work on your present and make your today better. And the reason why it's so hard to deal with our narcissistic relatives is because there's no accountability. Narcissistic relatives, they rarely take responsibility for their actions and they do the Darvo technique. You guys heard of Darvo? And that is they deny, they attack, they reverse victim, and offenders. So it's one of those things they're going to deny, oh, no, no, that wasn't me. I didn't do anything. Or why are you trying to attack me? Or they turn themselves into the victim, or they're the one now that's offended and they were the ones that made all of the problems. It's crazy. Another dynamic is they do lots of role manipulations, you know. There's always usually one golden child or one favored auntie or cousin that can never do anything wrong, you know. And they are the scapegoat, you know. If you ever find yourself in that situation that you are the black sheep of the family and you're blamed for all the problems in the family. I think every family has a person that becomes the black sheep, especially when you have multiple relatives that are narcissists. I'm still isolated, but I'm out. I still find people around me, and they still act the same way. I need to see my thing. Other people see the things other people see. Yes. You know, the only way that you can get help is that you got to remove yourself completely. And I know that that's easier said than done because you want to have that relationship with them. You want them to treat you right. You want them to love you, but it's not going to happen. All you're ever going to do is get hurt, get blamed, and get used. That's just the name of the game. That's just what it is. And it sounds cold and mean, but it's the truth. It is the reality. And another one is abuse tactics. You have to expect gaslighting, sarcasm, public humiliation, and using money to create dependency. So they're always going to try to take your money. They're going to try to use you. They love to make fun of you, step on you to elevate themselves so that they can be seen like they're something big and bad, and they're nothing, you know? They're nothing. They have not healed. They have not dealt with themselves. So we can't change them. That's the unfortunate part. They can't change. But what we can change is the amount of time we spend with them. What we can change is the way we think about ourselves. And for me, one of the best things that I ever did in my entire life was getting a therapist. And after therapy, I got myself a life coach, and it has done so much for me that I turned around to be a life coach myself because I loved what my life coach did for my life and made me so much happier, made me a better person so that I don't get sucked into those, you know, that the web, you know, and their tornado of lies and drama and negativity. And you will, because that is what having narcissistic relatives will do to you. They will always make you feel that you don't do enough when you are bending yourself backwards to help them and to support them, and they use you, they smear your reputation, they make fun of you, and they use you until you have nothing else that they want. But they love to live in shaming you and embarrassing you. That's what they love. And I think one of the best things that we can ever do, guys, like I was saying, is seek support. Most times in today's society, most people push it to the background. And I'm not going to lie to you. I did that for many years. I pushed my pain, my sadness because of embarrassment. And because we're always taught to, you know, you got to be tough, you got to be strong, like you got to take it. That's your relatives. And we walk around in this with rose-colored glasses, feeling that one day they'll change, one day they'll grow up, one day they're going to love me, one day they'll apologize, and it's not going to happen. The only way you can help yourself is seeking support. And I'm telling you from experience, getting the right therapist is crucial for your recovering from all of the verbal, the emotional, the financial things that they do to you, you know? And you learn a new way of treating yourself and not finding people like them to be in romantic relationships with and friends and coworkers, because until you heal yourself, you're going to seek out individuals who are just like your relatives. Toxic. users, manipulators, gaslighters, and will always make you feel bad about yourself. They thrive. Narcissists thrive in making you stay in low self-esteem. They don't want you to do anything good for yourself. They don't want you to be happy. They don't want you to have good things. They want you to stay in a dark space. And when I finally made a decision to that I wasn't going to let what they said, what they did, I separated myself from them. I stopped talking to them. I got my own circle of people now, my own friends. I just cut them off completely. And it's not that I don't love them, because when they're your relatives, specifically your parents or siblings, you love them, but you don't love their behaviors. And because we know that they're not going to change, let's be honest about it. We know they won't change. So what you have to do is you got to change what you allow. You got to change what you think about yourself. And that takes a long time, just like it happened to you for probably all of your life. Them treating you like garbage, verbally, emotionally, financially, spiritually, or, making fun of you, making you feel like you're nothing, making fun of your looks and the issues that you have. There's zero support on their side. And we don't deserve that. And if you're getting that from narcissistic relatives, there's no amount of confrontation. There's no amount of even they could say all the apologies. But what it is they just want to smooth it over so that they can circle back and use you again, financially, emotionally, or make you seem small so that they can keep stepping on you, because what they don't want is they don't want you to have any self-esteem. They don't want you to feel good about yourself. They don't want you to have any confidence or love for yourself, but you're the only one that can do that for yourself. You have to make a choice to love yourself. Now, this is the thing. This is a big impact on you, because growing up or dealing with narcissistic family can lead to feelings of inadequacy, anxiety, depression, or just feeling hollow inside of yourself. But you have to recognize that the abuse, because it's just what it is, they abuse you and it's not your fault. That's a major step in your recovery. And when I recognize that it's not my fault for what other people do, what other people say, how they treat me, that's not my fault. You got to give them back their drama, their negativity, and take back ownership of your life. You have to start writing down what you think about yourself. I'm loved. I'm enough. I'm worthy. I'm capable. And the more that you become self-aware, the more you step into self-love, the more you set boundaries and love yourself, you will be stronger to walk away from all of these toxic relatives. So I thank you all so much for tuning in to this podcast conversation. Check out my other videos, my other live streams. I did cover having narcissistic parents, being in a narcissistic relationship, and I think I have another one in the series. And then I'm going to start making videos about narcissism, because I feel this is the new direction of my channel, and I like to talk about it because I have a lot to say. And we're going to cover it in future videos, but I did want to put this out there on a live that if you ever have had narcissistic relatives, don't blame yourself. Pull yourself away from them. Stop telling them your business. Don't give them your money. You got to get strong. You got to get on your own 2 feet. Separate yourself and start living your life, because you can't live your life in the shadows, in sadness, in darkness, in making them say things to you and you have to keep taking it because you don't. A lot of us, like myself included, thought that you have to take things from your relatives, and you don't. You don't have to take it. You don't have to be abused, disrespected, taken advantage of, made to feel like a speck of dirt, always run over, or they only want you when they can use you. That's not good, everybody. That's not good, chat family. And I hope that this awareness will hit somebody in the proper way, that yes, that is what I'm dealing with, and give the empowerment that I don't have to take it. I don't have to stick around with them. I don't have to be used and disrespected. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Marlene Saunders Show, where we have real talk, real conversations, and you're welcome to it. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe, turn on your notifications, and check out my other content. I will be back with more videos and content very soon. Thank you for your support. Remember to love yourself. And this is the Marlene Saunders Show, where we have real talk, real conversations, and you're welcome to it. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. And I wish you healing, love, and self-confidence.